Hello everyone, it's Tim with Stud Studio, and today I will be reviewing set 10316 Lord of the Rings Rivendell, a 6,167 piece behemoth that marks the return of the Lord of the Rings to LEGO after a full decade. Coming in at just under $500, this set contains the entire Fellowship of the Ring, plus Elrond, Arwen, Bilbo, and more. That's 15 minifigures and also contains the 3-part segmented Rivendell house. You have the main tower with Elrond's study and Bilbo's bedroom, the Council of Elrond seating area, and finally the riverside gazebo with a hidden blacksmith area where the shards of Narsil were forged into the blade and drill. Weapon racks, trees, and paintings with Middle-earth history are littered throughout, as well as some hidden Easter eggs. Let's dig right in and start with the unboxing. On the front of the box, we have our Adult Welcome themed black box art with the completed set and figs displayed at a slight angle. Near the bottom, we see the icons theme with the age rating, set number, and of course the piece count. Looking at the back side of the box, we get a nice overview of the completed build with a little dimension schematic showing the size of the overall build, and then showing off how the build can split apart into 3 separate segments. We also get a little slideshow of various features of the set, showing off all of the unique little scenes that you can make. The right side of the box is empty, and the left side shows a more top-angled view of the build, and finally, the top shows off all of the minifigures that come with the set. Slicing into the set, we get a nice little view of the paintings that will show up in this set. Very nice touch. The complete contents of the box includes 49 numbered bags. Some of the numbered bags are separated by this smaller white box that's inside of the Rivendell box, which contains the instruction manuals and about half of the numbered bags. The rest of the contents include 3 instruction manuals and 1 bag of loose parts and 2 sticker sheets. Looking at the minifigures, we are given the entire Fellowship of the Ring, plus some notable characters and some extra elves and a dwarf. Starting out with that dwarf, we have this unnamed dwarf. He has a simple torso design with, of course, back printing. And he has the new short posable legs, which I think is great for the dwarf characters in Lord of the Rings. And he has a simple one-sided face with a long white beard and long hair. The character is a welcome addition to the set and can be added to partake in the council happenings. We also get 2 elf extras, a male and a female. Both have the same torso print with back printing, and both have a double-sided face. They also share the same hair mold. In fact, all of the elves in the set share the same hair mold, just with different colors. The male elf here does not have printed legs, which in my opinion looks a bit strange when set together with the lady elf, but it is understandable that this fig does not have that leg printing. Next, kicking things off with the hobbits is old Bilbo. He has a beautiful torso print, and along with all of the hobbits, he has dual molded mini legs. I really think these dual molded legs are a huge step up in quality for the Lord of the Rings hobbits, as it's something we have not had in previous years. Probably the best part of this fig is his dual-sided face, with one side showing a calm expression, but the other side showing the absolute jump scare of a face. Talk about ring trauma. Merry and Pippin are a phenomenal combo to have, and in this set they are wonderful. Both have unique torso prints with back printing, dual molded legs, and double-sided faces. Merry here comes with a care accessory, perhaps a nod to the I think I broke something, and Pippin comes with a little brick-built lembas bread, and they both have short capes to complete their overall look and match with their torsos. Samwise Gamgee comes fitted with his classic frying pan. He has a double-sided face, one side grinning and the other a more concerned expression. He too has a cape with an excellent torso print and dual molded legs. This is a solid all-around Frodo minifigure. His dual-sided face contains the smile expression, and the other side the bewildered, kind of possessed expression. He has a clean cape and torso with back printing, and of course dual molded legs. Equip him with a new sting sword element, and it wouldn't be Frodo without the One Ring. My precious. This figure does come with additional elements to actually make him be able to sit down, which is just awesome. So there he is sitting. I think something great that LEGO could have done was actually make a mithril shirt torso just for him to be able to put on so we can recreate that one scene where he puts on the mithril shirt, but that is to be desired. Next up might be one of my favorite figs in the set. We get an all-new printed Boromir fig, complete with a new sword and shield element. The new shield, unlike the old, is now without a stud in the middle, and in my opinion this makes the print look more accurate to his shield in the movies. He has beautiful leg, torso, and back printing, as well as two expressions for his face, one stern and one more jovial. He also has a brown cape and long hair. My only gripe is not having his famous horn being included in some way, so that remains to be desired. Gimli here comes with the posable short legs, which unfortunately are not printed. I know LEGO has been making these with prints sometimes, but this set will not be the first printed legs Gimli. His torso print, although largely colored by his beard, is fair. His face only contains one expression, which is disappointing considering previous versions of him had two. It might be LEGO's direction now to only ship dwarves with one-sided faces. It's debatable, but previous versions of his helmet have more depth in the mold, giving more details, but then again this new helmet is utilizing two separate detail colors instead of one, so I can see both sides of the argument. Overall, it's a passable figure, but I would love to see a future design that holds leg and arm printing. We also get a new axe element here as well that you can equip him with. I think the Legolas in this set, at least the hairpiece, does not live up to my expectations or previous versions of the fig. In past designs, the hair was depicted as staying behind the ears and torso, which I think is more accurate looking at the source material, but now they just use the universal elf hairpiece, which in and of itself is good, but I don't think it works for Legolas. He does, however, have a dual molded and printed legs, which is great. He also has a dual-sided face and a nice torso with back printing. Next up, we have a fairly standard Aragorn. He has a nice new sword element that I am a big fan of, and he has the standard double-sided face, printed torso, and legs. I am a big fan of the new Gandalf figure. Some people may not like the dress piece usage, but I think it's more fitting for this fig rather than posable legs. It even has back printing on it. His cape is a more of a cloth material and different from the other caped figs in this set. Aside from that, most everything else is standard on this fig. He has a beard piece, only one-sided face, his staff, and his hat. I am also a large fan of the new Elrond and Arwen figs. Elrond's face print has a crown printed on, which is nice, and he has another more concerned face print, and I think the hairpiece works very well here. His dress element does not have back printing, but the torso does indeed have back printing. Accompanying her father is Arwen, who again is made up with the same new hair and dress elements. The printing on this fig is very nice. It has a more silver sheen that looks great against the white of her dress. The Evening Star necklace is clearly visible, and she also has back printing on the torso and dress. It's important to note that both Gandalf and Elrond have a special brick-built leg piece for sitting that are even printed so that you can display these figs sitting down in the Great Council to debate the fate of the ring. With more than 6,000 pieces, this set was an absolute joy of a build. I spent a couple of days building this one, just taking in the build, and let me tell you, it was by far the most enjoyable build I have ever done. Maybe I'm just such a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. I loved seeing the bags full of new weapon elements, all of the new figures, and every bag was a fresh and different experience. I will say though that the roof section was a bit tedious, but I actually kind of enjoy those parts. But it was a very enjoyable process overall, and I would and will build this thing again. Let's get right into the build. We have an artfully crafted and beautiful house of Rivendell. Overall, this thing looks phenomenal and just might be the most beautiful set I own. We'll start off by looking at the first segment, the tower inside containing Bilbo's room. The exterior of this segment is made up of a large tower that has these very cool statues representing elf lords and ladies. They use a total of 5 extra grayed out figs here, which, while simplistic, they make for excellent statues. Going further up the roof makes use of sand green, orange, yellow, and blue bits as the roof shingles, and it just looks fantastic. At the base of the tower, there's a sneaky little burrow with a movable leaf element that you can hide certain things away from. The top of the tower does pull off fairly easily, but be wary of little pieces falling off as you do so. This exposes Bilbo's little study nook where you can find the Red Book of Westmarch, also known as Bilbo's Book, represented with 2 stickers. This is a fantastic little detail. The rest of the roof does not easily detach, but is not too necessary as the inner side of the segment is completely open for you to view the rest of the interior. We have the rest of Bilbo's room, including a chest for him to store Sting and the Mithril shirt, and a large bed where Frodo ends up waking up after his encounter with the Ringwraiths. There's a couple more bits of furniture to fill the space. Directly underneath is Elrond's study, which houses a very intricate bookshelf. I really like the way they were able to pull this off by using little tile pieces sideways to add that depth to the books. There is also a bench with what looks to be a cushion and a rug underneath it. On the back of this section exterior is some neat detailing and a painting of Sauron breaking Narsil, represented with a sticker. It is beautifully framed and detailed. The next segment, the largest of the 3, is by far the most intricate and stunning segment, containing many details all throughout its enclosure. To start, we have a massive central tree with large roots attached along its base, and some even protruding out underneath the bottom. Its leaves turning yellow right at the turn of the season using beautiful yellow and lime elements. The detail on this tree is spectacular. The only annoyance can be adjusting the leaves to the branches to get the perfect look, as some of the branches are a bit awkward to move around. To the right of the tree is a sort of outjut from the main house. It has elegant and detailed pillars. I like the small bird and fig statue they snuck into the front of this thing. And inside we have a circular table with 2 pieces of lembas. Moving along to the interior through the side part, we come across an astrolabe, or a telescope. And then there's a set of stairs leading up to the statue, which holds the famous shards of Narsil. Also depicted on the back of this interior are 2 paintings, one of Ost-in-Edel and the other of Arundel sailing to Valinor in his ship Vingelot. Moving down into the main floor, we get a beautifully tiled off floor area with multiple references. First on the far left is a detailed map of Middle-earth on a writing podium. Next to that is a map of what seems to be rivers and a lake. Some have speculated that this is likely Anorian or another part of Middle-earth. And on the far right side is yet another map on a podium that depicts Barad-dûr. This was a subtle hint for the next Lord of the Rings set that we know now to be Barad-dûr. Littered around the rest of the floor are more candelabras and minor pieces of furniture that add that extra bit of detail. The side opposite the stairs has a nice picture depicting 2 elves in the process of forging something, like the Great Rings of Power. Finally, that takes us up to the main area, the council seating area. The seats here perfectly fit the minifigures, who are expertly crafted using nothing other than popsicle and sausage elements, funnily enough. In the middle, we get the central pedestal where the One Ring lays while the council proceeds. More half-printed tile pieces sit underneath to give the central area more detail, and you can actually lift up the entire seating area by grabbing the tree to more easily fit and arrange the fellowship into their positions. This also exposes another Easter egg under it, which is the Eye of Sauron, referring to the scene when Gimli strikes the ring with his axe. That about sums it up for this segment. Other than that, the vast amount of little details like foliage, mushrooms, and smaller trees. You have an excellent stone walkway over to our third and final segment, the river and gazebo. This segment is largely made up of terrain, and continuing from the previous segment, we see a bubbling stream with a small waterfall and foam represented by white bricks, and a nice bridge crossing over the stream to the gazebo. Underneath the waterfall, in the back, there's a secret little area with mushrooms and foliage, and it seems a little guy has taken up residence here. Going back to the front, there is a highly detailed gazebo made up of mostly white bricks that you can detach to either set figs inside or access the hidden blacksmith area underneath. More on that later. I love how the designers managed to make this detachable gazebo set an almost perfectly round and smooth segment with a couple of rocks protruding from the sides. Inside the gazebo is another bench with a pillow and some studs for figures to stand on. Looking inside the smith area, we have some detachable weapon racks full of elvish blades and weaponry, a little lantern, and a whetstone and a table. Just outside this area is the rest of the smithy, where there is an anvil and a forge with some extra tools inside a little barrel. Taking up the rest of the area is more foliage and trees and mushrooms, and I can't stress enough just how pretty these trees are. You even have details like mushrooms coming off the sides and twisting roots near the bottom. That just about sums it up for this build. The displayability of this set is again phenomenal, and the amount of features and details contained within also make this set very playable. The designers have balanced the tiled off area looking clean while having enough studs to provide ample spots to stick your minifigures. Transporting this thing may seem daunting, but the 3-segment design makes it very manageable, and it's super easy to fit back together using the pegs and holes that align it just right. Overall, I think the designers have nailed this set right on the head, and I think it is well worth the $500 price point. Being such a huge Lord of the Rings fan myself makes me so happy to see the return of this theme, let alone such a cool and iconic scene from the Fellowship of the Ring. To my knowledge, this set hasn't gone on sale at all yet, but I don't see it ever going on sale in the near future. The best you might get is a double VIP points, but even so, it's for sure worth every dollar. This has been my review of the LEGO 10316 Rivendell, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about it in the comments below. I will be reviewing the other Lord of the Rings sets here in the very near future and many more sets, so please leave a like if you enjoyed this review and consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next one.